What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Drop Podcast. This is the podcast where we play games and hang out, do our thing as usual. But today, I believe that I have something that I might need to share with you guys. So, Christmas is over, and I gotta say, I got some pretty cool things, among which I got this MIDI board, so it's like the piano, so you can play it. But yeah, so I got this. Hold on, mother trucker. Get that mother trucker. I'm gonna take those. And I made this smooth little beat, and I think it's gonna be the new intro. It's kind of like the same vibe, except I think it's just a better I think it has a better kind of flow, kind of rhythm, energy to it. So, but here I just wanted to play a little bit for you guys. So this is it. Possibly gonna be the next intro and outro for this beat. I mean for the Drop Podcast. I might turn it into a song too. It's kind of groovy. But yeah, man, Christmas was tight. Like, best Christmas ever. We just chilled out with my grams. And my dad made pork butt, which is incredible, really good. But today, I also got this, because I'm searching into, like the stuff about, I'm interested in what is it called? I'm interested in like psychology and children development and stuff like that. And so because of that, my girlfriend had got me this textbook specifically on childhood development, because that's, kind of what I wanted to look into or kind of dive into a little bit. So she got me this textbook on childhood development, and specifically it says discussion-worthy readings in child development psychology. And so the first chapter was pretty much just about the first chapter was, hold on, I'm looking for the title. First chapter was conclusion. I guess it's a conclusion. It says conclusion, childhood from past toward future. So pretty much it was just about the development from childhood in the time back when kids were whenever kids were labor focused versus now where we're more like education focused. And then the question is, like, is that a good thing that we turn that direction? And all the things that kind of go along with that, as far as whether that's like the way that children should be. And so then it dives into like some of the questions and modern struggles of kids in the modern age and stuff like that. So it was really interesting. I'm setting my timer. It was really interesting. And there were like 3 kind of main areas that it jumped at, which I don't fully remember, but I am not too worried about. But at the very end, it asked me questions, and so I thought they were very interesting and something that might be good to dive into a little bit, just to explore some of the ideas inside of the book. And so the first question was, what are the drawbacks and gains of traditional agricultural model of childhood and the modern model of childhood? So first off, what they're saying about like traditional agricultural model of childhood is like the feudalism system. For example, in Japan, like not too long ago, well, maybe, I don't know, I don't actually know my history very well, but in feudalism, they were the way it worked is you had your lord who owned land, and the so you had a lord who owned land, and then the king who the lord had to pay taxes to, and then you had like serfs, like all the people that worked on the land, and then of course you have knights, right? I guess in Japan's situation you would have what are they called? Samurai. And so the serfs would have to farm the land for, I don't know, food. I can't think. It's been a minute since I've looked into it, but I think you could trade food and then in replacement, but I think there was some form of like currency that was valuable, like gold or silver or whatever, but they wouldn't really get gold or silver. Like they didn't get paid. Their taxes were the food, But anyway, so they would have to pay the lord, and then the lord would then pay the king for the land that he owns. So it was beneficial for them, and the serfs had a place where they could live. Not that it was, a good beneficial system for everybody. Like they were probably upset about it. But I don't know, I'm just saying. But then, let's see, just gonna heal up everybody real quick. But then, you have the modern style of childhood, which is drastically different because there's a transition from. It's no longer. It's no longer the agricultural model where the kids are working earlier, but it's actually about but it's actually more about education. So kids are spending more time in schools rather than going to work, and then by the time they're like more of age, now they go to work. So, but, no. And then, what? Defense powers decrease when shocked. Kicks butt. Freaking Macedonian looking. But anyway, so what are some of the drawbacks? So I was thinking about this. And to me, I think that the drawbacks from what I see, at least from the from the model. Hold on. Releases electrocution energy. Oh, I got scammed. Okay. Chill. Hold on. This is important. This is yeah, that need to happen. So, drawbacks from traditional society. Obviously, like the number one thing is kids aren't exchanging ideas. I kind of came to this conclusion a while back that I noticed there. I don't know if I told you guys this, but there was this section in this book where they were talking about give me 1 second. Not over there. They were talking, it was something about how children, oh, you jerk. I forget. It was really good though. And it kind of implied like implied something good. I don't know, but I guess the outcome of the idea that I saw was, hold on, I actually texted my girlfriend about it, so let me check that real quick. So just really quick. Snooze, excited. Christmas. Man, we texted a lot. Hold on. Gotta electrocute him again. Oh, wait. Hold on. Lightning. Then I'm gonna Rolo kick. Then I'll wait. So, hold on. Anyway, well, here. So, the drawbacks and gains of traditional agriculture model. So, the fallbacks is obviously like the lack of exploration into new and creative ideas, so that you kind of draw back because you don't have whenever kids are naturally curious, right? So kids will naturally question and try and figure things out. And kids are smart too. So it's like don't underestimate the intelligence of a kid, because a kid is gonna a kid can tell. A kid really can tell. A kid can tell basically if they're being like lied to just based off of information that they collect, which I've talked about before with whatever it was. Hold on, I'm gonna find it. It shows it. Let's see, tomorrow, Christmas. I don't know. It must have been a while ago. But hold on, let me just read this up real quick. So, drawbacks of a traditional society: lack of free time, or or desired free time. So it's like whenever you get home from work, you're just like tired, and a lot of times, like for me, it's beneficial because, one, the my side projects are relaxing, but for like kids back in the day, they didn't have stuff like this, you know what I mean? Like they probably didn't have like computers to sit down and record and make a podcast out of, right? So yeah, so I don't know. And it's that free time though that's where you have like those things like we're more than our labor, right? That's one of the big things I learned um from what's her name? I learned, hold on, Feather maybe. Storm, no. That's what I learned from my interview with what's his name or what's her name? Tori Rose on Fang and Horn. I'll tell you something, Fang and Horn. Fang and Horn. Yeah. Nah. Okay. Let me review again. So, yeah, and anyway, but so that's the downside. Ideas are not being shared. And also at the same time, like school, here's the question I was trying to solve. Like, what's the benefit of education? And so there's this story about this boy, which I'm sorry if I've already told you guys about this. I can't really remember, but it's a story about a boy. And the boy was he had gone to what is it called? The boy went to he was going to school every single day, and I think this is like early times of I don't know, one of the cities in whatever country, but anyway, but the boy would always walk past this cobbler, and his cobbler always had his son there, and so he would always wonder like, why is his son, his son, they would always be outside working on shoes, and so he'd always wonder like, why aren't they, or why isn't his son over in working with us in at school. And so he asked the boy's dad, why. And the dad said, my grandfather was a cobbler, and my grandfather's dad was a cobbler, and my dad was a cobbler, and no one has asked that question since you. So, but I realized something in there. No one has asked that question. It's school that we learn how to ask, because where do ideas come from? Ideas come from other information. And so it's like, in order to have more information, you need to, or in order to have more new ideas, it helps to have more information. You know what I mean? So that's my thing. It's that's what I think is important. That's what I think school is good for, is that the exploration of those ideas, the pushing and the shoving of putting new information so that you collect more that you can work from, more that you can use. So that's my, I guess, perspective or point of view. Or of the value of school, but anyway, so the asking of questions. But then hold on. Then I guess some of the downsides shared with absorbing information, make new ideas from. But then some of the gains are, there's like this sense of self-worth, which is something that we've for sure lost. It's like we don't understand like the value of life as much, and I think it comes from a place of ego, because you have all this information, but you don't have applied information. You don't have wisdom. There's a difference between having a whole bunch of knowledge and having like real life active wisdom of applying knowledge and learning and stuff like that. So, and I think that's what people lack, and it's dangerous though, because whenever you have a whole bunch of knowledge, you think you're smart, like you think you know, but without that wisdom, you don't really understand that. Nah, you don't really know. But that's the thing. It's like we think what we're striving to do is know, but it's more like we're just striving to get more questions to ask. It's like, because you're never really done, and whenever you see, like, you can visualize the complexity of everything and all the variables that kind of come into play. It's like the answer to anything is it depends. Like when is it good to slow down immigration? Well, it depends, but because immigration is actually a good thing for economies. If it's done legally and people are paying taxes, which even then it might be still good, just because there's like a fluctuation of money. Still could be good, but but then I don't know, there's just like a certain sense of self-worth and also pride, and there's something to say about actually participating in economy, like doing some valuable work that is going to benefit society that we feel, we can tell. And one thing that I've found from, the people that I used to go to school with, is that on social media, it's like they're taking charge of like they're posting all the time, 24/7, and it'll be ranging from just like random stuff to like ranting about their dad, And to be fair, it's a select few, you know what I mean? Like, if I know who expresses their feelings through social media, And so that's fair. Like, I guess the majority of people are not as aggressive and angry about life. But here's my thing. It's like they're yelling and shouting, angry about their dad for having a different opinion. Like, she, like, put, like, the whole situation. I'm thinking about someone in specific right now. But they're upset about the whole situation. And it was like her dad had said something. She said what her dad said. But then followed by just, like, anger. Like, she was just like, he's such a hypocritical, misogynist, racist. You know what I mean? Like, all the vocabulary under the sun that you could possibly use. But it's just like, she went to social media to express all that, you know, and which isn't necessarily, like, it's not a bad thing. Like, you know, you can do whatever you want, but it just shows, I think, like the way that I took it, like, what I learned from that is, I think that's because you feel good, you feel productive, like you're doing something whenever you post and people like it, and it's something kind of along the lines of something that you feel needs to be changed, and that you think is right and just. And so whenever you're fighting, you feel like you're fighting for right and just. Like, you are in the movement of the progression, you know, forward, because you believe and you post, you know what I mean? So you're gathering like your army, I guess, in some kind of way. Which social media can be a powerful tool. It's not like it's not a tool, but I don't know. It does feel kind of silly and dramatic. And also at the same time, I find that whenever you participate in the real world, one, you listen better. And so I do think that education plays a role into ego and the developing of the ego, and you know, because you're constantly being tested on how much you quote unquote know, whenever really it's just vocabulary that you memorize and then repeat on a piece of paper whenever they ask you. Like I said, you're missing that wisdom of it, and at the same time, it's like you memorize it and then you lose it. But you keep getting that A, and it keeps feeling good. It's like cocaine. It makes you feel productive. But that piece of paper gives no value to society. It's, you know, a piece of art. It's like you've expressed how you feel onto this piece of paper, and people can enjoy it. So either it's valuable for you, or people sit back and they enjoy that. You know, they enjoy that expression, because, you know, sometimes it helps them kind of express vicariously how they feel, you know, and that can be beneficial for people, you know. And also at the same time, it's a way that people kind of explore, like, ideas, you know. And then, yeah, like I said, you can sell that, and people, yeah. And so it's like you're participating, but it's like this piece of paper, you get an A, and then it's like it doesn't even matter anymore. Like, it's like it doesn't even exist anymore. Like you do it, you get it done. It's like you can pretty much just throw it away unless you need to study from it. So I think it's just like this falsehood of security. Like, you're getting your security in the wrong place. And so I really do think it confuses you, you know, mentally, because, you know, we strive to take up responsibility and take up things that hold value, and we want to add to society and culture, you know. But you're not going to do that by getting an A on a test. But you think you are, you know. Like, we've set it up so that you think you do. And so, like, it gives you this ego, like I said. This ego that was built on your floor of your room with all your papers out everywhere while you're studying for the test, you know. You think that you have some kind of higher tier, because that's the way school's set up. You have your college prep kids, the regular students, and you have your honors kids, and, you know, there's something to say. There is a difference in work ethic, but all that kind of goes out the window. It's like just being in the workforce has given me so much whenever it comes to just understanding people and wisdom. And I've started to realize people are clever, man. Like, people aren't stupid. And a lot of these people were bad students, you know, that at least the ones that I'm working with. And they weren't perfect students. They weren't even close. Like, but they've found their responsibility. And you can tell, like, some people are still kind of, you know, rascally, kind of, you know, just do stuff for no reason. But for the most part, everyone's like they take up like, there's this guy, Aaron, and he's an adult now, and he actually has a kid. But that's another thing. It's like, if you want to be grown, or if you want to progress in life, look at where all the people who have already been through life have gone. And one thing he's done is he's taken up responsibility. You know, he's an upstanding father. He's there for his kids, with his kids. And trying to think what else. What impressed me. We weren't busy, so we had like an off season. And what he did was he took a whole aisle, a whole section, without asking, and he I say without asking, like, that's a bad thing. More not like that's a bad thing, but like without needing to be told, you know, to do anything productive. He just saw this problem that could be beneficial for the rest of us, and so he organized this whole section. It took like 2 months, or probably just a month actually, but maybe 3 weeks. I don't know. But anyway, it took a lot of time. Like, these are 8-hour days, and I mean, like, he was there probably even some overtime too. So, but what I'm saying is, he took, you know, that over, and just took that charge and responsibility, and you know, added to the company, and, you know, found his place in there, you know, in that space that makes him feel valuable. And it adds value to us as a company, you know. And you can tell, like, he's the kind of guy that you can count on. You know, you wouldn't go to half of the people there to watch your kid, or you know, to handle money, or I don't know. Like, I wouldn't hand half of these people $20 to go buy me a hot dog. You know, but I would for him. Like, I would count on him, and I would trust him. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. But I don't know. I got on this whole rant. But yeah, I mean, I just think school is kind of bad for your psyche whenever it comes to just, you know, being a happier individual. Because, and you can still be, like, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I just mean, like, I think it's healthier for us to be more humble and more studious, like, more like students of the world, than being stuck thinking that we know what we don't know. And now we're, you know, just in this weird space where we're trying to find some way to put value, and then the problem is too many drugs are too readily available. For example, social media. Not that it's not a drug, but you get the point, though. It's something that, you know, we kind of struggle to get away from. Let's see. I forget where. I think it was from here. But yeah, and so anyway, but taking up, you know, responsibility, you know, earning an honest living, it's good for you. Then the downsides, of course, is it's like, you know, if you're in a traditional society, you're not going to be able to get you're not gonna I don't know, explore different ideas and be able to kind of dive into things and, the typical. So, appears to seem quite difficult. Alright then. Well, I guess we're just waiting here. So, Dreamstone and activate the sword. You work on the Dreamstone, I'll work on the sword. Let's see. Drawbacks from the modern children model. We postpone money. Oh yeah, now this is a big deal. So we postpone getting finances, which is, another thing that I find, if anything, we break our finances. Like, we don't have an understanding of money. Like, $1,000 now means a whole lot, it's a different thing than it was to me just months ago. Like, before I started this job, started purchasing a house, it's like I didn't even know what $1,000 meant. Now I see it better. You know what I mean? I have a much better and more sensible vision of what that means. To have $1,000 and what you can get with $1,000, because it comes with a reference. You know what I mean? It's like you have to have that wisdom. Like I said, like, you know what $1,000 is, you know what a K is, but this is the perfect example. But it's like, and you can compare it. You can get ratios, but it's like having the experience of earning that money and then taking action on that. It's like, it's so different. It's so different. And it's very difficult, to, I think, just understand as a just regular individual. Like, I really do, you know what I mean? Like, money is just one of those things I think you have to have the luxury of having experience for. So anyway, but that's like one of the biggest downsides. And personal finance class is not going to take you anywhere. Because again, it's like memorizing details and vocabulary and then just repeating them. What I actually think is good, though, was I did this thing called BizTown back in middle school, which is like, you were actually, like, you got a job, everyone got a job, and then we all participated in this makeshift economy. And like, I was a policeman, so everyone ran a business and had a break, and like, that was an incredible experience because you actually lived it. Monopoly, surprisingly, I would say, is a really good game for understanding investments and the flow of money, at least. Now you're seeing it, it's almost as if you're like God and you're able to see the flow of money from over the top, of everything, which isn't the way it works. But, nevertheless, it's like the experience that you gain from Monopoly is valuable, for sure, 100% valuable. So, but anyway, but still, like, there's nothing like just getting out there and working on in the workforce, just, being a part of the economy. Alright, so anyway, these questions are taking longer than I thought. Postpone weaknesses of ego, about our intellect. Position in the world, we're stressed about the future. That's a big thing. People stress so much because it's like, when you're not there, when you're not participating, like I said, if you're not participating in the economy and you don't have an understanding of money, it's scary. One time, this is so crazy. Back in grade school, I was like 3rd grade. For some reason, I asked this kid why people are afraid of the dark. He said, I don't know how he came up with this. He said, He said because people fear what they don't know. Holy crap, this dude was in 3rd grade. The guy's name was like Sean something, but and that's just one of those things that like I've taken with me forever. It's genius. Yeah, people are afraid of what they don't know. So I think we stress about it because we don't understand it. We don't understand what debt is. Debt isn't a bad thing. Well, it can be bad, but there's good debt. Like a house. A house is good debt. But people also don't understand what a house can give them, why it's good debt, and it can be good debt. Could be our home, which I guess is a good debt. But at the same time, if you think about it long term, if we start planning long term, we can put our money into places. It's like if you envision a house as a bank, it's like you're just getting interest on that money, but you can get better interest on that money if you rent the house out, you know what I mean? And live with your parents. So I actually think a combination of like modern and labor is beneficial, or prolonging your childhood at the same time while taking up responsibility and educating yourself for sure. See what else? Economy, kingdom. Can we get a ribbit? Stress about the future. I have a distance relationship with people. Oh yeah, school. You have a distance relationship with people, the world, and the economy. Now I've kind of expressed all of that kind of in one. But yeah, I mean, you don't build in school. You don't build relationship as well. I mean, you do. It's a good it's a good like melting pot. But there's nothing like working with people, and that's something that you don't get. You don't work with people at school. You work separate. And that's a mistake. Let's see what else. Gains our childhood physical stress. We explore new ideas. Grow our minds to think in better ways with more information. I already talked on all that. All right, second question. Is it right to push the modern model of childhood on others around the world? This one I think is easy. I think it's, well, I guess it's not easy. But my perspective is I really think that we should just kind of let things go. You know what I mean? Like, and I get it's hard because it's like if we knew that Hitler was persecuting Jews, trying to exterminate them, I guess we do kind of have a responsibility to step in, And I know this is a little bit different of a situation. Like, for example, this is how you raise your children. But I don't know. But the conclusion that I kind of came to with this was like, children will naturally, like, throughout the years, we've naturally gone down this path of, less labor early, and education first. And I think it's beneficial for economy too. So I think it's a good thing. So I don't know. Anyway, I do believe, I think that hold on. I think that, just 'cause it'll go down that path, I don't think we have to worry about that too much, simply because I think it'll go down that path naturally. So that's kind of my take. I'm trying to remember. I think frog can heal. Yeah. But at the same time, he doesn't have. Okay. Heal beam. That's good. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. My take was just kind of let it happen. Like, don't force it. Just let it move. All right. Third, this one's kind of a doozy. Do you think extending childhood or pre-adulthood is beneficial to our society? So it's kind of playing on before. I think I don't know. I don't think extending childhood it's not a bad thing. Like for me, for example, it's actually allowed me opportunity to be able to kind of slow down for myself and focus more on allow me to focus on my side projects while pursuing real estate. Like for example, and this is just defining, adulthood as whenever you move out, right? So whenever you're not living with your parents, that's kind of like the definition of adulthood. So the way I saw it, I think yeah, like for me it's helped me out a lot. And it's gonna continue to simply but at the same time I have a plan. Like I've taken up responsibility in my own life, and so that's why I'm allowed to get the benefits, the rewards of this thing. Which is one thing like I have a problem with. We always wanna like censor everything, right? Censor the world because it affects us in XYZ. But it'll be stuff like what was the example? I stay up late and watch anime, okay? And that's unhealthy for me, okay? So that's a problem. But it's like you wouldn't dream of I watch online, so you wouldn't dream of turning off the internet so that I can what is it called? Like you wouldn't turn off the internet just cause that's bad for me. That's my responsibility to take up and fix, Like you don't do that, right? You would say, dude, well, whose fault is that? You need to suck it up, right? And I think that's true. Like if I do it, it's my fault. And if I can handle it, then that's good. But at the same time, like there's a reward to it. Like on the weekends, I can stay up late and watch it. If they just took it away, I wouldn't have the reward. So it's my fault and it's my responsibility to figure that out and figure out my balance of my balance of how much I can waste time and or how late I can stay up and So that's my take on that. Let's see. Total is probably beneficial. Oh, but more time in school is good for the economy. You know what I mean? Because I think more time in school allows for more jobs that are higher paying and more taxes. So I think, and taxes are actually beneficial too on the country. Because if you think about it, like the United States spends using our money, right? And what they spend in is like their investment in real estate, except we are the real estate. You know what I mean? So, let's see. Hold on, let me read this. So, the extension of childhood and pre-adulthood is probably beneficial. School probably cause more types of jobs, pay more, activate more capital, which is good for higher taxes. Oh, and like I was saying before, like I enjoy that slow pace because it gives me time to prepare. You know what I mean? Like I've benefited from it. But then, yeah, I was just saying earlier, it's like, but then people, whenever they don't take up responsibility and in their own lives, it's like they try and find ways to be productive. which you can get that feeling from cocaine, I know, or social media, by expressing their issues to the world, and they become unhappy, hypersensitive, and unwilling to listen because they feel like no one else is listening to them, which is a whole nother issue. How do you deal with hypersensitive, emotional people? That's something I'm trying to figure out, and I really do think that the best thing that you can do is be an example. So by listening to them, but don't lie, because there's a difference between someone says, "Oh, I don't like X," and you go, "Okay, that's dumb. Like, why don't you?" You know what I mean? Then there's like, "Okay, well, I don't know. I don't think so." Like for example, like a lot of people. Well, I don't know if I want to give that example. But yeah, I mean, it's just like you don't have to agree on everything everyone's saying, but being honest holds value. What strange new guests you have from the Middle Ages? Yeah. So anyway, what else do we have? Modern way, more judicial. Okay, so here was kind of my conclusion. So I was thinking maybe earlier implementation of real, earnest, valuable responsibility earlier, and education would be good. And like the prolonging of childhood. But you have to teach some sort of sacrifice to kids for long-term benefit, and have that be an experience that they live out, not just told in school, because there's a difference, Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. So that was some of my thoughts. I thought it was kind of interesting. There's 3 questions, and this book too. This book is really cool. But anyway, so I think we're about done with time, so I'm gonna go ahead and save right here. And this all being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope these were some interesting things that you can think about. So anyway, with that all being said, if you want to support the podcast, you can do so by going to my website at joshuatbryan.com, where I have a place where you could donate. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it's joshuatbryan.com once again. And yeah, but then, of course, like I always say, the best way that you can support is simply by listening or sharing the podcast with someone that you think would enjoy. So, that all being said, I will check you guys later. See you.